our Society Socials. My name is Ginsu. Welcome to my personal public diary, and I am a survivor of suicidal ideation. In this diary entry, I'm going to be revisiting one of my old diary entries that I recorded a while back. One of the diary entries I deleted and I got rid of. So in this diary entry, I was, speaking my mind in regards to having to struggle with suicidal thoughts. And at that moment, I was pretty much very demotivated and feeling very suicidal. I did get a couple of you guys that watch, for you guys to reach out. You DM'd me on Facebook, you DM'd me on Instagram, told me your stories, we connected. It was a beautiful thing for me to connect with somebody that that struggles the same as me, and them telling me their story of how they got by and survived or have been surviving. So I'm going to recap. So essentially, number one, like as I put it out there, is that I am clinically diagnosed with my mental mood disorder, bipolar disorder, and with that comes both manic episodes where I'm excited and happy, and depressive episodes where I am on the low, and it can be severe as much as, you know, uh, feeling suicidal. Feeling suicidal is something I've suffered for the longest time as I can remember, pretty much my whole life. Um, and at some point in my life, like I said in that previous diary entry, is I never imagined that I would live past the age of 21. And I never even planned my life past the age of 21. It's still a shock to me till date that I'm still here and I kind of have to do life now, because I didn't plan further than this. I just never even thought it would exist whatsoever. So I remember when I turned 21, I was just like, maybe this is it. And then when I turned 22, that's when I got this tattoo, semicolon, for me to continue. If you follow mental health movements, you do know that's a very great symbol. But me getting this symbol on me was just a celebration of my life. Like, I never thought I would be alive till date, and here I am today. And but then it continued for a couple more years, and I'm we're 28 right now, and we're like, wow, we're still here. At some point when I was 24, when my quarter life crisis began, and I fell into a deep depressive period, and it went on for a longer time than the usual, because again, that's when a lot of things happen to us. Chemically, your body's changing, you're transitioning into an adult. Also, outside being like the chemical body changes, there's also life at large as well that you have to deal with, approaching things a bit differently. So it was a tough time. I did also talk about how I used to really struggle with my eating, because I was emotionally eating, and it was really tough to overcome that one. And but I beat it, I beat my emotional eating. I got to a point where I lost the weight, because I gained a lot of weight, but I lost the weight. I changed my perspective and approach in regards to food, um, which I had to do a lot of hard work as to why am I emotionally eating, um, what do I gain from that, and what's my outlook on life, and how do I change my relationship with the food, the importance of exercising, why am I exercising, why am I trying to get to be healthy again. um, and I did it all. It was very hard, it was very painful. At some point I wanted to cry and give up, because I still remember I did talk about how I took myself a body anatomy video to look at my body and having seen the changes that happened to my body, and I was distraught after seeing just how much hard work I had to put in to get my body back. It was hard work, okay? It wasn't play. It was very painful. Um, and there's that part, and also working on my mental health, working on some of the things that I thought I had resolved, but hadn't resolved. Because if there's one thing age 24, 25, 26 will do to you, these things that you did not deal with properly, they'll come revisit you, and they were very hard hitting. There was a sense of regression, me revisiting a whole lot of the younger me, and me having to deal with all of that, paying up some habits, some beautiful habits I liked, that I had forgotten, and also healing parts of me of some things that I never really gave the full attention to. As I talked about, things ranging from different things. Could be family ties, it could be my daily issues, it could be romantic relationships. These were the main factors in my life, though. As I mentioned, those ones, they were the ones that were big factors in my life. yeah, man. So I had to revisit a lot of my past to kind of fix that or heal that, and coming to the present. It wasn't a pleasant thing to do. It's very painful, but I'm very excited to sit in front of you today to tell you guys this testimony. Like today, I'm sitting here excited about being alive. I cannot stress enough how all of my 27 years I've never been excited about being alive. Never. In fact, every year I would have a certain prayer. I'm like, God, like, why am I still here? This coupled with a whole lot of suicidal attempts, having to being admitted in the emergency room, um, hospitalized, mental institute, admitted, rehabilitation, all these things, visits to the therapist, visits to the psychiatrist. So many things have been happening in my life that, had encompassed in my struggle with my mental health. But I am standing today and I'm so excited about life, which I'm just glad I'm finally at this point. Um, because for the longest time I prayed for it. I prayed for it. I'm like, God, if you're gonna keep me here, you gotta make it exciting. You gotta make it okay with me, because every single day I wake up and I'm just not vibing. I just don't want to be here anymore. And I did not plan past 21. Like I thought 21, that is it. Because what are we doing here? Are we gonna exist in a world of pain and suffering? Um, there's a lot of things that just happened to me, but I'm just so grateful to God that I'm at this point. Heck, I went through the phase of being angry at God as well. I was very, very angry at God. I did talk about this as well. But me sitting here today is a different me. And things started to take a better turn when sometime, it was sometime last year. So as I was going through that like breakup and suffering mentally, suffering psychologically, just feeling a whole lot of emotional strain, I told myself that I want to do things that are gonna build my morale and willpower to live. Previous to that, I was still genuinely still working on my mental health. Hence, I had created this diary entry to like talk out, to work out things that were bothering me. Um, and to document them, or even the progression of my daily life, to as a documentation, as something I can revisit to hear myself and see how far I progressed. But at some point I really believed I was at peak. I thought I was there, I was okay, positive things only. And then that breakup happened, that relationship that went sour real quickly, that loss of a friendship happened, and that really gutted me. It gutted me so much that I lost hope. And in losing hope, like hope is a very pivotal core of our very being. It's a drive behind a whole lot of things in our lives. So the moment that is destroyed, you have nothing. You have nothing. So my hope was destroyed. My hope was destroyed in humanity. I cannot, I don't even know how to put in words to express to you what that breakup did to me. Like it fucked me up. It fucked me up real bad. And this was the second time where I was in a situation where I was feeling myself get very um pulling to myself, because I felt like I was getting burnt by other people. The first instance was with my best friend when, man, there was a point in time where I had the realization, snapping out of maybe I'm idealizing my best friend, maybe I'm just making a big hoo-ha out of him, and I hadn't humanized him. And having realized these things, it caused me to lose a lot of trust. That was one of my first times where I felt like the manifestation of my trust issues was like happening. And at that time, my mama took me to a life coach to try and help me to recalibrate myself, to not be so distraught with how my relationships were turning out. So she took me there, got a book as well to try and help me to coach me through relationships. It's a good book, but it's not, what can I say? It just didn't touch me. It's a manual. And when it's a manual and you have no sense of relatability to it, it just wasn't effective enough. But that was the first time I had struggled with it. And as years went by, here I was again. And I got romantically involved, crossed the line. Let me just say, it's not romantically involved. I crossed the line with who I shouldn't have crossed the line with. And that distorted me. Because I can't say romantically, there wasn't enough romance to say it's romantic. I just crossed the line with someone I shouldn't have, and it brought me great devastation, and I crushed my hope. So I lost hope in humanity. I could feel myself losing hope in humanity, which was very devastating because as people, we coexist with each other. And once you don't have that hope in people, there's no drive that you can attach to people, the coexistence with other people. It's finito. Okay, it's finished. And it crushed my hope and trust in people. It crushed my hope in life, the essence of life itself. And it just crushed the hope in me as well. Like, I just felt like I felt very, very alone. I felt like an alien, I must feel, because it was like, is what I'm looking for, is what I'm saying I'm needing so foreign that I just really cannot get it at all. Instead, I constantly get rewarded with betrayal to this point um of yeah, to this point of endangering me as well. Because again, when things like infidelity or cheating or ghosting and all these horrible things that happen in romantic relationships happen, they're not just happening. There are some things and principles that are attached to those that are tampered with, and for me, things like infidelity happening is very attached to the valuing of me and the valuing of my life. So hence I said the previous day, I said a person that cheats, for me, they are attempting murder to murder me. Okay, because my life is in their hands. So it was very difficult. It really mind fucked with me to look at this person that I never not once, um, ever thought of any malice coming from them at all. It was just so difficult to conceptualize that, to now see that person, that they are the person that attempted to kill me by stringing me along in this mess that I never wanted to be in. It just really hurt me deeply, and it tempered with my trust, it tempered with my hope. And I was just like, but so what's the reason to live if we cannot trust each other? We can, and there is no hope because everybody's just acting foul. Listen, the addition of a whole lot of societal mess going on and me being exposed to social media, and it's so weird. It's like the moment you go through something, it's like the universe or things in your life just correspond with what that which you're going through, and you're just consistently seeing case scenarios of people cheating, people abuse, and all these things. It just added on the castration of the situation, and it was hard, and it really fucked with me heavy, which is why I felt super ill. Um, and it traumatized me. And I suffered that in connection with the other things that I had incurred in my life before, the other betrayals that I had encountered in my life by the people who I was intimately involved with. Yeah, I suffered a complex PTSD, which is why my body took such huge strain. And it fucked with me, fucked with my will to live. But after going for therapy and trying to pick myself up, going through the process of picking myself up, one of the things I wrote in my notes was that I'm gonna work on my willpower to live. And with that, I started doing the little bits of things that give life. Um, Things like eating, because I couldn't eat. So when I fell ill, I couldn't eat because I started getting anxiety, stomach cramps, and I was going. My stool was horrid. It was black. It was black stool, diarrhea, and I was suffering from complex stomach cramps. It felt like somebody was like pulling me, and these went on for a good 2 to 3 weeks. And so every time I would eat, like I would, puke it out, or it just wouldn't sit well in my tummy, and it was just horrid. So that's how. In addition, I lost a lot of weight. um, it was very, very terrible. I was having nightmares. I was essentially all the symptoms of a person suffering from complex PTSD I endured, from nightmares, night sweats, stomach anxiety, stomach cramps, not being able to stomach anything when you try to eat. It was just horrid. So at that point, as I was forcing myself into recovery, I forced myself to eat. Started taking my vitamins again. Started getting myself up to get up and go exercise, ensure that I take my 2 baths a day or 2 showers a day, ensuring that I take care of my skin. Just the little things that add on to what makes a healthy person, well groomed, healthy, they eat. And then I started taking it a step further to like, okay, what are the things that could add joy to my life? Exploring things, doing things I like doing, as well as learning new skills. That's why I wrote in my phone things I want to achieve for myself and skills I want to learn, um, from learning a new language to learning how to play an instrument or whatever, to recording music again, to writing music again, to writing poetry again, to some of other things that I want to achieve for myself, like finishing up to furnish my house, um, buying myself clothes to present myself better. All these other things, pursuing my degree, pushing for the growth of my business. These are things that I felt like would add on to me feeling alive. And then also I decided to prioritize my relationships, because at that time, during my session with my therapist, I said to her, most of the time I really feel very far removed from the people in my life. Like, they are there, but I always feel so far removed, and I don't know how to go about it, because I tend to feel very alone, very desolate. And well, she said something about maybe it's because I'm not connected with myself, which is pure bullshit. But I decided to take it upon myself to invest even more in my relationships by, you know, connecting with my family, make it a norm to talk more than what I was already doing. Because um, by nature, I'm a person who likes to be by myself. It's so weird. I like being by myself, but I like people's company, and understand like there's timing for that. So I spend most of the time by myself. However, there are times when I want to engage with people, and I want to feel people's presence, to feel people's support. And hence, I really started to invest a lot in nurturing my relationships. It could be my friendships, connecting with my friends, making it a habit to check in with my friends, how they're doing, how is life. Because again, we adults, we're all busy, we get caught up, but whoever responds. And then when you get the time, you make the time to meet, which is very difficult to come by when you are adulting. Oh, it's tough because everybody has responsibilities. Some are married, got kids, husbands, wives. It's so hard. And sometimes money is very hard to come by. And when you have money, it has to go somewhere else, like the priorities, So, but I decided to do that with my friends and with my family as well. Make sure I connect, we talk. And I started really being in a better space in that regard, which is why, again, this recent breakup, when it happened, I wasn't so hard hit. I had my friends, I had my family, and now I now even had y'all on the internet to connect with and relate to some of the things I was going through. So I didn't feel alone. Yes, it hurt. Yes, I had my own emotional turmoil to go through, but this time around it was a bit different because I felt the community around me, and hence it was a lot easier to bounce back, to heal, and also it gave me the space to grieve properly. And I had people that in my life that validated me, that tell me they love me, and it's just been very beautiful. So yeah, from deciding to do that, I had really progressed better. Um, and I guess these are built up efforts, built up efforts, because it took a lot of me applying myself and also to switch my perspective on a lot of things, because I can be very catastrophic in my perspective. I can be very catastrophic, that and I admit, but in me being aware how much I can be catastrophic, I decided to progressively train myself to start viewing things a bit more different in a rather beneficial way for myself. And that has really made a big change. I don't know what life will throw at me, but I just wanted to record this diary entry to say I'm not the girl that has been suffering for the past 27 years. So in year 28, I'm excited. I'm excited. Look, I'm excited about me finishing school. I'm excited about how my life is going to look like once I enter the corporate world and expanding my business in that essence. I'm excited about me exploring other avenues in my creativity, like me being a DJ. I'm excited about me starting to record my music and writing music. I'm excited that I pushed myself to a point where I got to publish my first Wattpad collection of poetries. I'm excited about talking to people, connecting with people. I'm excited about waking up every day and trying to say, okay, let me see what I can at least achieve. It doesn't have to be massive or big, but knowing that that day went to, bringing me a step closer to something I achieve. I'm excited about learning a language, you know, skills and all these things That wasn't me a couple years ago. It wasn't me a year ago. It wasn't me a couple years ago. It was just dim. It was just dark. And I was in this dark hole of, I don't want to be alive. And especially when people hurt me in the most tremendous ways that crush my hope, that crush um, my trust. Like I said, I think, yeah, I did say in my previous day, and she's like, I really struggle with trust. Now I really struggle with trust, and having to trust people in relationships, whether friendship, whether romantic, is like a huge challenge for me. But knowing that I can now, I'm now at a point where I don't view that catastrophically, and it does not ultimately stop me from living and like pursuing things. Like heck, I'm very excited. I'm a person who's pro purpose, pro objective, so I get very excited. Like, what objective am I here for? Am I here to teach? Am I here to heal? Am I here to make somebody feel validated and seen? Yeah, I'm about it. Like, if those are my gifts that God has given me, let it be so. And even though I've gone through hell and back, I'd like to use my hell and back to heal somebody else and for them to not feel alone. I feel like in the society we exist in now, it is so individualistic. That's the word I was looking for. It's so individualistic that we forget that we are social beings, and actually how we are wired is that we be interconnected. We are networks. Okay, we are nerves interconnected, and our very livelihood, our very being pretty much depends on the next person as well. um and so it's important to nurture, embrace, and invest in those around us as we invest in ourselves as well, so we could be fully healthy people. But yeah, I'm just excited, and I'm happy, I'm content. I don't know what life will throw at me, but I pray to God that whatever comes, because the truth is life will test you. Okay, life will always be challenging, but we just pray for the ability to overcome, to rise above. So I do pray for that I overcome, that I rise above, and I do not be demolished and be a wreck like how I was a couple months ago, a year ago. It was hard. Like I say, yo, man, I came very close to losing my life because there were attempts. My body was shutting down. I'd lost it. I looked horrible, guys. I looked horrible. I lost weight more than I had planned to. It was just painful, but we thank God that this is me now. And I don't know, man, it gets better. There are days where it gets better. And for those who haven't seen better years yet, because again, it took me 27 years to see a better day, a better time where I'm not I'm not in my head and it feels like war in my head. Um, that time will come. Just hang on to God. I never really know exactly how to advise people who are suffering from suicidal ideation, because I know just how hard it can be. And not just the struggle in your head as well, but literally even life itself is just very challenging. There's so many factors. It could be economic factors, money issues, educational issues, family structure issues, um, friendship issues, romantic issues. There's so many spheres in our lives that can really wedge and push a person on, and or cause that big struggle. And yeah, for me at large, most of the things were struggles in my head, my mind state, battling with my mind state, and the disarray that had been happening with my relationships, because I had to be very wise in like really surveying the quality of my relationships so that I can improve my life. And taking responsibility when it comes to my career, my education. Like, I slacked, I messed up, or I needed to be delayed. I needed to be a bit more mature. It was not time yet. And now is the time is now is the time to push. And for me to like pretty much lose focus on everybody else but focus on me. Um, which again, social media really makes it hard for people because it catches you up on everybody else. But also again, it's not everything is not so black and white. It's also your responsibility to shut those voices, to mute pages, unfollow, be blind to everybody else and deaf to everybody else, but hearing God and concentrating on you in where you're supposed to be. So yeah, man. That's just my mindset right now. Like that's what really came to mind because I was really sitting in the feeling of, gosh, I'm really happy, and I hadn't felt happy in the longest time. Like I'm happy. There's nothing to disturb me, and even if things are not purely 100% perfect, I'm very content with where I'm at. I'm excited about where I'm going, and also I'm very pleased with myself as a person. I'm so excited about how I'm pleased with how I've progressed, how I've grown as a person, and it's a big thing for me to be excited about tomorrow, to be excited about today, to be excited about being alive. It's something new. I haven't had this in the longest time. I'm just grateful. So thank you to my family. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to God for being by me. And thank you to those of you who communicate with me and reach out to me. Your stories help me to feel not alone. And I also hope that my story motivates you and heals you as well and anchors you that and brings you closer to what gets you healing, what gets you happy. Anyway, that's it from me to you. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.